Hey there, Facebook. Um, if my eyes look a little blurry, I've been working double time. I didn't even bring myself a drink out here. Oh, gracious. I think I can survive. Um, I wanted to talk to you today about something that happened to me last night. Last night, I got embarrassed. Yeah. I got embarrassed because of my hair and my eyebrows. They were just too fabulous. No, I'm kidding. One of the reasons I dyed my hair bright red, other than the fact that I kind of wanted to, I had this desire to, one of the reasons I dyed my hair bright red was because I tend to have a habit that I've been changing over the years and making myself step out more and more, but a habit of hiding, right? Like hiding who I am, hiding in the background, trying to blend in, trying to be what I think everybody wants me to be instead of being who I truly feel that I am inside. So, I did the hair and stuff because I kind of felt like you can't hide this hair. It's not the wildest out there, but you can't hide it. And there have been some times where I felt kind of awkward about it, like my high school reunion, going back on my family reunion. So I thought about it last night. I was at my daughter's volleyball game, and her old coach, who we know and love, and him and his wife, they're just like the most beautiful people. And they walked in and they hadn't seen me with the hair and the eyebrows and all this stuff. And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm just like probably a little bit too much. They're gonna think she is too much. And we went over after the game and chatted with her old coach, and obviously they were nice and gracious, and the coach's wife actually complimented me on my hair. And I thought, why am I thinking it's embarrassing to have this hair if I like it and if it feels like the real me? And you don't need to dye your hair at all, but you might be doing the same thing that I'm doing, right? You might be hiding who you really are. And guess what? That's the embarrassing thing, right? If you're not doing what you came here to do, and by that I mean like in this lifetime, touching the people that you came here to touch, sharing the message that you came here to share, being the person that you came here to be. I mean, if you're an artist, a writer, a speaker, and you're not doing those things, I mean, I did that myself. Like, y'all, I wrote a story, a children's book. Oh, it's getting a little windy here. The hurricane is heading through. I'm not really close to it, but the outer bands will go. And it looks like my connection might be fuzzing in and out. Hurricane! But no, it's not going to be bad where I am. So hopefully it's not going to be bad where anybody is. But what I was going to say is, I was like 22, 23. I was a teacher. I wanted to write children's picture books, and I worked really hard on one, got my children's book market publisher, the writer's market. I think there's a version for just kids. I can't remember. But anyway, I found like the perfect market for me. And I sent it away. It was one of the lovely ones that you didn't have to have an agent, because I was way too afraid to approach an agent. And anyway, I'm not going to tell a story about picture books being hard to get agents for. But maybe I just did. I take it back. Anyway, so I sent it off, and I got a handwritten letter back saying that it was a great story, and they encouraged me to share it further, but it just wasn't the right fit for them. And you know what I did? I quit writing. I did. I thought that meant that my book wasn't good enough. The internet wasn't really around very much then. Did I have? No, I did not even have America Online back then for people who are as old as me. But I felt like them saying no meant I should just stop, which is like crazy, because now, like, later I learned that getting a handwritten note from a publisher, actually getting anything back at all, is a good sign. Well, I just I think I fuzzed out again, but I'm gonna keep going. And okay, maybe I'm back now. Anyway, so getting anything at all from them was actually a good sign. But I decided it wasn't, because I was actually putting my worth and me doing what I felt called to do on somebody else, and that's embarrassing, right? That's what's embarrassing. Being yourself is not embarrassing. Stepping out and trying something new and failing is not embarrassing. And if you keep going, then you don't really fail. But quitting on your dreams, that is embarrassing, guys. And if you have quit on your dreams, it's okay. Give yourself a hug, pick yourself up, and start again, because we're all here for a purpose, for a reason. And maybe our purpose and reasons changes through our lifetime, and that's fine. But listen to yourself, listen to your soul, meditate, 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 tune in, and you're gonna get your answers. You always know the right answer. You totally know what to do in every situation. And if you do something that you feel like was a mistake, I don't believe it was a mistake. Like, I could say that it was a mistake for me not to continue pursuing picture books at that time. But, you know, it was a lesson learned. It took me many years to learn it, and I'm just glad for the learning. I'm not saying that's a mistake, because I feel like every little deviation we take on our path takes us somewhere else, and it gets us to where we are now. And I like where I am now, even though I feel like I got a lot more journeying to do and a lot of being more of myself to do, and a lot of more sharing my message to the world. I still like where I am now. And even though sometimes that little ego part of me will say, you're doing something embarrassing, when I'm doing my soul work, when I'm doing my purpose work, when I'm just being who I am, I'm not going to listen to that voice. But the voice that tells me not to be myself, and not to take a risk, and not to help, you know, because if I'm not myself, then I can't help anybody else. And if you're not yourself, you can't help anybody else either. So there's nothing embarrassing about being who you are and who you're really meant to be in the world. And a lot of times, though, if we haven't stepped into being that person yet, it feels embarrassing, it feels awkward, it feels scary and risky to actually be just who we are. And I think that's why, as humans, we just kind of pull it apart layer after layer. I know I've been doing that for several years. When I first started, I'm gonna have a blog, and when I first would post a blog, I would literally get sick and throw up when I push publish. Now I push publish all the time, but I used to literally get sick. And then I would start doing podcasts and speaking, and I would literally get sick. And then I got used to that. And then I would do videos that weren't live, and that would be hard. And now it's still kind of hard. I'm still easing into the live stream thing. It's getting easier and easier the more that I do it, the more that I step out of my comfort zone. Why do I do it? Because my soul feels called to do it. It feels like a way to share my message at this particular point in time. So that's why I do it. Does it sometimes feel embarrassing? Clunky, sorry, there goes my crazy dog. Yeah, it does. But what would be more embarrassing is not listening to my soul and not doing what I'm called to do. Now, in some cases, nobody's going to know that but you. But guess what? You're not going to be able to sleep at night. You're not going to be happy. You're going to be unfulfilled unless you do the thing that your heart called you here to do. So, as I said, I think I fuzzed out a little bit ago. If you don't feel like you know, you do know. The thing that I encourage people to do to get more in touch with that next level self is to have a spiritual practice. That's why my website is called Daily Alchemy. I love to do, I have a process that I go through, and I teach people who are my premium members how to set up their own. But you know, you can try lots of different things. Meditation is one of my favorite. And even if you feel like you can't meditate, even just like a 5 or 10 minutes of doing, repeating an affirmation or a mantra, that's awesome. And if you can't, if meditation like that doesn't work for you, just being really, really mindful and present while you're doing certain activities, like going for a mindful walk and just feeling every footstep hit the ground, or washing dishes and just being really, really present, feeling the water and the soap. So many things that you can do mindfully. Your whole life can be a form of meditation when you really focus in and get mindful. When you start doing those two things especially, then it gives you a chance to listen to your higher self, to God, to your soul, to whatever you want to call it, or whatever you feel like you connect with. And that's where your guidance comes in. And then a lot of times what comes in as guidance, you're going to go, oh no, I cannot do that. That is too embarrassing. But what is embarrassing is not listening to your guidance. So I don't know. It feels like my connection is fading in and out. So I'm going to go. It's been a long day and I haven't had any evening tea, any evening snacks. So I'm going to go have a tea, have a snack, and not be embarrassed. So you go out and do what your heart calls you to do today, and don't be embarrassed. And if you are, do it anyway. All right, big hugs, and I'll talk to you next time.